Jimmy Kimmel was taken off air after a conservative backlash to his comments about Charlie Kirk. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Thursday, September 18th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. ABC announced yesterday that it will take its late-night show Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air indefinitely. The biggest owner of ABC-affiliated stations had said earlier yesterday that Kimmel's program would be replaced starting last night. It linked the move to statements he made about last week's killing of the conservative activist Charlie Kirk, calling them offensive and insensitive. Here's what Kimmel said on Monday night's show.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
The Trump administration's FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, also criticized Kimmel yesterday. Here's what he said, speaking to the right-wing podcast host, Benny Johnson.
I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
President Trump celebrated the news about Kimmel's show on Truth Social. He posted that it was great news for America. But Democrats, comedians, and others expressed their outrage and said the move threatened free speech in America. Number 2. 3 police officers were killed in a shooting yesterday in southern Pennsylvania. 5 members of law enforcement were shot in York County yesterday. 3 were killed and 2 others were injured and remain hospitalized in critical but stable condition. Police shot and killed the suspect, who authorities have not identified. They also didn't give a motive. But according to state police, the officers had been responding to a domestic investigation. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro spoke about the incident at a news conference.
This kind of violence isn't okay. We need to do better as a society. We need to help the people who think that picking up a gun, picking up a weapon is the answer to resolving disputes.
Authorities said they were holding back more information until they could serve related search warrants. Number 3. The Federal Reserve cut interest rates for the first time this year. The U.S. Central Bank yesterday cut rates by 1/4 point and signaled it would make further cuts soon. If this news is thrilling to you, don't get too carried away. The move is unlikely to bring much immediate relief to people with home, car, and credit card loans. The Fed's rate-setting policies trickle through the financial sector to influence what millions of consumers and businesses pay for mortgages and other types of loans. The Fed has been balancing its concerns over softening jobs numbers with its concerns about inflation triggered by President Trump's tariffs. The cut suggests that they find the labor market the more worrying of the two. The newest appointee to the Fed board, who's also a Trump advisor, was the only Fed official to dissent from the move. He wanted a larger rate cut. Number 4. Gaza City's communications were cut off as Israel widened its invasion. On Monday, Israel's military launched a new ground offensive into what was once Gaza's most populous city. Many civilians have fled, but hundreds of thousands of people remain. The Israeli military has effectively encircled the city, and Palestinian journalists reported continuous fire yesterday. Now, many in Gaza City and farther north are facing heavy network disruptions. A group that monitors global internet access attributed the blackout to the targeting of one of the main fiber optic routes. Meanwhile, in the U.S., Senate Democrats plan to introduce a resolution to recognize a Palestinian state. And Senator Bernie Sanders, for the first time, called Israel's war in Gaza a genocide. The former CDC director said Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. pressured her on vaccines. That's our fifth story. Susan Menares testified yesterday before the Senate's Health Committee. It was her first appearance since she was fired by the Trump administration last month from her role leading the CDC. Menares told senators that Kennedy had pressured her to support changes to the childhood vaccine schedule. And she said that he had repeatedly disparaged the CDC and its employees.
He said that CDC employees were killing children and they don't care. He said that CDC employees were bought by the pharmaceutical industry. He said CDC forced people to wear masks and social distance like a dictatorship. And the one I think that hurt me the most was a particularly vivid phrase he said during the COVID outbreak. CDC told hospitals to turn away sick COVID patients until they had blue lips before allowing them to get treatment.
Menares clarified that Kennedy's claims weren't true. Kennedy recently purged a vaccine advisory panel at the CDC and replaced it with his hand-picked members. Today, they are set to meet to reconsider the recommendation that all newborns receive the hepatitis B vaccine. New Mexico will become the first state to offer free childcare regardless of family income. That's number 6. New Mexico has long been at the bottom of state rankings for child well-being and educational outcomes. A new program to offer free childcare hopes to change that. The move would save families an average of $13,000 a year in a state where the median family income is just above $64,000 annually. It will be paid for using the state's oil and gas revenue. Federal funding for early childhood care has remained flat. That's despite Congress this year passing tax credits that the Trump administration says will help parents with rising prices. That has left states like New Mexico to decide how to address a child care crisis with families who can't afford care, providers that can't stay afloat, and teachers who can't survive on low-wage jobs. And at number 7, Google paused an AI cheat button in its Chrome browser after teachers got mad. Earlier this month, Google quietly added a button to Chrome, which is the world's most popular web browser. It was a homework help button. It appeared automatically on the kinds of course websites used by the majority of American college students and many high schoolers. If you pressed it, it read what's on the page and provided an AI overview answer to questions, including during tests, so teachers were not happy. And our intrepid tech columnist was on the case. Days after he reached out to the company, Google paused the feature, but it hasn't ruled out bringing it back. Educators who are unhappy about AI might be fighting a losing battle. Data from last fall showed that 26% of 13 to 17-year-olds in the U.S. said they used ChatGPT for schoolwork. I know at least one high school class that listens to this podcast. So to the students at Deep Run High School, resist the cheat button. Please don't let AI melt your brains. All right, you're all caught up. But before you go, a reminder that if you're a subscriber to The Washington Post, you can get access to our shows ad-free in Apple Podcasts. All you have to do is find The Washington Post channel in Apple Podcasts and connect your Post subscription. Then stay tuned for more subscriber-only audio benefits, like exclusive and early access episodes. If you're not a subscriber, this is a great time to start. You can sign up at our channel in Apple Podcasts or through the link in our show notes. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.